All right, we're back in our project. We're going to play around with this box. It's a little bit too big for the back of my clock here. I wanted to add a secret compartment that I can, have on my clock, but that's just way too big. So I'm going to have to play with that. Just a reminder that when you're in your data panel and you've opened up your project, so I've got my combining parts project open. These parts, the box, this clock demo, the mechanism, I created those elsewhere and I inserted them, I copied them into my project. And I'll just show you quickly how I did that. I'll go back to my home view and I'll just scroll down to one of my previous projects. I've got my Learning with G9 project here, and inside of this folder or project, I actually had the mechanism. That's what I used. To add that into a folder you make, you just right click it and then you can say copy. And when you copy it, it will give you visibility of your whole data structure. So here are all the projects that I've got going, and there's my combining parts project. So when I click that, I will have the opportunity, now that it's highlighted, to say copy that into the combining parts project. I'm not going to do that. I did it before, but it's helpful to know where all this stuff came from. So I'll go back to my home view, and I'm going to go back to this current project we're working in, this combining parts project, and then it's going to reveal all the different parts that I might use in this particular project we've got going. And I will now close the data panel because I don't need those parts currently. And I'm going to start to play around with my box. So the box is, like we said, it's a bit big. So I'll click on Edit in Place. It'll take a moment, and you'll see down here you've got a progress bar. That's going to, kind of bring in, what's happening is it's bringing in the entire project. And it's now telling you that you're editing in place. Once you're done, you're going to need to tick this green arrow. You're going to have to end that sort of session where you're editing the box. But I'm not done yet. I'm obviously going to keep doing that. So the box itself had a number of parameters that were created as part of that separate project. And now when I go to modify and I say change parameters, these were the parameters that I created for the box back when I made it. So I'll try and tuck that out of the way so you can see what's happening here. I'll move the box over. So my thickness is probably okay, but I definitely think the height is way too high. I'm going to make that about maybe 50 millimeters. And the width of my box, I'm also going to change, make that smaller. I'll make that maybe 100. And the depth of my box, I'll probably set that to 50, maybe 75. We'll see what that gives me. And not 750 for sure. 75, I'll just click outside of that to have it apply it. That's probably something I can work with. So as soon as I click on the design surface, it scales down to the new size, and I've now got a box that's probably going to be okay. Now, if I look at this and think, oh my goodness, those finger joints are too skinny, I want to adjust those, well, go back to the box tutorial series that I put up on YouTube on how to make a finger jointed box. That'll show you where inside this project you would actually be able to fix that, but I'll give you a hint. It'll be inside these sketches. Like, you'd have to adjust the sketches for the sides and for the bottom and so on. All right, but assuming that this is going to be okay, what I need to do now is move that box into position, to be able to combine it. So with the front of the clock, so with the clock face. So to do that, now that I've changed the size of this box and it's okay, I'll end my session. And then I'll go back to the main project, and now I can see everything is, the same color. It's all good. I now need to get this box ready to add to the back. And to move it into place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to joint it. I'm going to joint this together with what are called as-built joints. See, the box was built to the correct size, and everything's actually in the right position. The joints are not overlapping. I can check it. I could do an interference analysis and check that. Let's do that anyway. I'll say compute and see no interferences. So all I have to do at this point is joint all these things together because I actually built them the right size. The joints are all in the right place. I just need to tell Fusion that the way it's built is good enough. I want it to all be joined together like that. So I'm going to do that. I'll say assemble as built joint, and then it's going to ask me to select components. To see those, I just twirl down all the components that are inside the box, and I'm going to join the bottom together with one side, and then we're done. I say, okay, I've made a rigid joint. That's perfect. So I'll say okay, and now I'm going to assemble and add another as-built joint, and I'll say join the bottom to the other side, the second side, I'll say OK. And then another as-built joint. Again, I'll join the bottom to this front back part, and I'll say OK. And assemble as-built joint, again the bottom, and that final side. And now those are all one thing. And I can now use that. I can joint that whole assembly to the back of the clock face, or really to the front of it actually. Because what I want to do is give this clock face a spot where to joint my project. To do that, I will create a sketch, then joint it in. But I'll do that in the next video.